Hello everybody, it's Michael from Replica Air Guns with a blank gun tabletop video. Haven't done one in a while. Today we're looking at the ROHM RG-46. It's a 22 caliber blank revolver, and this is the tabletop review. So I have three guns on the table just to use as comparison. They're all ROHM blank guns. They're all revolvers, as you can see, kind of that snub nose design. They're different in various ways. They shoot different calibers. There's two 22s here and there's one 9mm. It's a little different than your typical 9mm PAK. I'll show you that in a bit. It's more like a 380 crimped blank. That would be the RG-59 up top here with the larger blanks. Two 22 caliber blank shooters here, RG-56 and the RG-46. We're going to focus on the RG-46 today, mainly because I haven't reviewed it or shown this gun, but we do carry it in our Canada Replica Airgun store online over at replicaAirguns.ca, where we carry a bunch of other ROHM blank guns there too. So let's quickly get into some of the specifications, and then we'll go into some of the pros and the cons. Alright, so specifications. As you can see, the RG-46 is a revolver. It shoots in both single and double action, so the trigger is both single and double action. You can see the double action here, single action there, right? Double action or single action is when you cock the hammer and only use one action to release the trigger. Double action is when you pull the trigger, which moves the hammer back and releases the trigger in a double action. Both the RG-56 and 46 are 7-round cylinders, or have 7-round cylinders, versus I believe the 5-round cylinder in the RG-59. I'll have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's a 5-round cylinder. The RG-46 is about 439 grams or 15.5 ounces, so it's almost a pound, and it is pretty much all metal with the exception of the plastic grips. They look like wood. They're simulated wood grips. All the guns you see here are front firing, and they are all able to shoot flares. You'll see they either come with a flare adapter, like these guys do, or the barrel is the flare adapter, like it is on this RG-46. So this is your flare adapter, just screws right into the barrel. The RG-46 comes in just the black version. I'm not sure if we're ever going to carry other like two-tone copies or whatnot, but it just depends what we can get at the time. Typically we have the all black versions though. Now what's nice about the ROHM blank guns is they're very high quality. They're German made. I believe Umarex bought out ROHM a while back, so it has been taken over by Umarex, but I believe they're still all German made in the same factory. And again, as you'll notice, they're all loose replicas of snub-nosed revolvers, so that's the closest replica you're going to really be able to compare them to. So what's in the box? Well, you basically have this hard shell plastic case that comes with most of them. It really just depends on some of the guns, but I think they've crossed over to the plastic hard shell cases now. You're not going to find the boxes as much. The boxes were more of the old, when ROHM actually owned the guns and Umarex hadn't taken it over. You'd find more boxes with them. The newer models typically have the plastic cases that they come in. So you get your gun, of course, right? You get the RG-46, you get your cleaning rod, you get your flare adapter, which is the barrel, again. It comes with it off, so you get it kind of like that, right? And then you get your manual, of course. As a parts diagram, right? Tells you 7 shots. Information there, right? Functioning, safety, loading, firing. Dry firing with no blanks in the chamber will permanently damage the launcher, right? So don't do it. Removal of fired shells, cleaning rod, safety instructions, things like that. All the stuff you expect when you have a manual. Put that aside for now. Okay, let's take a quick look at this gun, and then I'll compare it. Well, you know what, let's compare the guns really quickly. So really the big difference between the RG-46 and the 56 is that the barrel is the flare adapter, okay? So that's the big difference here, okay? So it just screws right in there, and it is your flare adapter. The RG-56, it just, right, that is the barrel, and then you would screw in the flare adapter. So that's the big difference. They both have these 7-round magazines with the empty round ejectors in them. Sorry about all the shadows, lighting's a little weird here. Right, as you can see. Okay. And then when we move forward to the RG-59, this one's tight. it is. You can see we have 5 rounds. 5 rounds, okay? Same shell extractor. Same barrel with the screw-on flare adapter. Alright? And all of these guns are single double action. Now in terms of the rounds, you can see that there's a big difference in 22 caliber versus the 9mm in terms of size. They're both crimped rounds, but they're a lot different in size, as you can see, right? So you're going to have a lot louder bang, and you're going to throw that flare adapter or that flare a lot further with the 380 or 9mm versus the 22. Alright, here's the flare. Okay, so you've got this metal flare that goes into the flare adapter, and when that's situated on the gun, the firing of the blank will launch the flare and ignite it. Okay, pretty cool. Alright, let's take a quick look around the RG-46. Okay, again, you have this removable barrel the flare goes into. You do have a sight. It's like just a groove sight, but you're not really going to need it much. You're not firing at targets per se, just directional mainly. Okay, again, you have the 22 round empty shell extractor. That's how you open up the cylinder. Single action. Nope, shouldn't do that, but double and single action. There's your simulated wood grips. All metal. Okay, caliber 6mm. The FLOB, I guess, stands for Flobert. Made in Germany. Serial number. Nice quality guns. Really nice guns in general. Alright, let's go over some of the pros and the cons quickly, then we'll wrap up this review. I like the fact that these guns are German made, very high quality blank guns. Yes, there's going to be some zinc alloy parts, but they are reinforced with steel parts as well where they need to be. You don't always see that on blank guns. Some blank guns can be finicky and break quite easy, whereas these are well made. They're going to last you quite some time. I like the fact that they're front fired and capable of shooting flares if you want to shoot flares. You're going to find with the RG-46 that the 22 caliber blanks are a little bit less expensive than the larger blanks, and they're not as loud. You may not want to always have a super loud blank gun. If your purpose is just to fire off flares, do you need all that volume? Not necessarily. I like that it comes with the flare adapter, the cleaning rod in the nice plastic hard shell case. It's a nice touch. And if you're looking for a fairly compact revolver, you're not going to find one really too much smaller than the RG-46 in a true snub nose design. The barrel comes off too, making it even more portable and smaller if you need it to be. And if you're looking for capacity in terms of rounds or ammunition, you're going to probably want to go with the 22 caliber because you're going to be able to get 7 rounds in there as opposed to the 5 in the 9mm versions. Alright, some of the cons. The smaller caliber blanks are not as loud, so sometimes you want a quieter round, but sometimes you want a blank gun to be loud. If that's what you're looking for, then go with either a 380 or 9mm PAK or 9mm blank gun. They will be a lot louder since the rounds have a lot more gunpowder in them. So keep that in mind. Another thing with blank guns here in Canada at least is they're pretty expensive. They're a little bit harder to get. There's not as much in terms of choices. All we've been able to import into Canada as of late, as of the last several years, are the ROHM blank guns. So these are your only choices right now. It would be nice if we had other choices, but this is what we have. ROHM does carry quite a few of these revolvers. They do carry a semi-auto, the RG-88. So if you're interested in the blank gun in Canada, we typically do carry them. They are in stock, so you can check that out over at replicaAirguns.ca. Alright, that wraps up this review of the RG-46 22 caliber blank revolver. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Our username is Replica Airguns. If you're interested in something other than blank guns, you can also check out our Canada and US online Replica Airgun stores over at replicaAirguns.ca and replicaAirguns.us, where we carry blank guns, air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, and other accessories. Alright, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.